Right folks, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. It's good to see you. Hope you're all doing well. We move on to day 3 over in Barcelona and Munich. We've got the round of 16, 4 matches in each, 8 in total. We'll waste no time in talking about them. Before we do, like the video if you would, get yourself subscribed to the channel. If you're not, I'd appreciate it if you did. If you want to send some thanks, you can do just that by clicking the tab just below the video that says thanks. We received quite a few last night. Really appreciate that. Means a lot to me. Shouts out to you. You know who you are. Look, for those that are new, we don't charge for anything over here, so you decide what it's worth. If you want to say thanks, if there's anything specific you would like me to touch on in the following videos, whether it's a certain pick or a certain player, then you can do just that by using that. Very well then. I appreciate each and every one of you. Very, very grateful for everyone that's managed to tag along so far. Very, very close to 900 subscribers now, folks. So if you're watching and you're not, get yourself involved. I'd love to have you. Very well then. Very well. Day 3. First things first, let me know in the comments, as always, did we manage to get anything today? I'd say it was a pretty routine day, apart from the 102. I mean, anyone take Mensah? He screwed me over. I was a bit disappointed in that, but it is the first round. I can't complain too much. Anyone take Flavio Cabali? I don't know, both of them. Both of them were horrendous today, You put in the effort, more so with Flavio Cabali. You put in all that effort to bring it back, and you still end up losing. It may just be me. If I've got cash on a pick like that, I would rather it just be over in 50 minutes. I would rather someone just get annihilated like 6-2, 6-3 than have to wait 3 sets for someone to just shit the bed like that. It's hard going. It's never easy. I do feel for you if you took Cavalli, but don't worry. Just remember, I was in the trenches there today with Mensah too. But we can live with that. You'll be glad to know we're done with that first round. It's safe to say the majority of the ones left technically deserve to be here. But we'll head over to Barcelona. Hey, let's talk about these games. First off, we've got Pedro Martinez, Artifice. Should be a good one this year. And Artifice, this price keeps flipping between a nice little parlay piece to just absolute shit. 1.16 for Artifice. What's that? That's like fucking Yannick Sinner numbers, isn't it? It's flipping between that and around 1.2, 1.25. I'd assume Artifice gets this one done. They've played each other 3 times. They were all last year. They went 1 apiece on the clay, and then Artifice got it done. Excuse me. Over in Switzerland on the hard court. Fairly impressed with Artifice against Carreño Buster. I thought it may have been a little bit trickier than what it was. I mean, it wasn't easy, but he looked really good nonetheless. Artifice has been really, really super. Well, he's been really sound, super consistent over the past few weeks. Keeps reaching these quarterfinals, and I wouldn't put it past him to get to another one here. I think Martinez looked alright against Binac, but look, a win's a win, and Martinez needs them in abundance. He's already got one against Sonego recently in Monte Carlo. Had a decent match against Nuno Boys, just couldn't get it done. And then coming up against Binac, like I said, I don't want to take anything away from the win, but I feel like if that was anyone else in the draw other than Nakashima, he'd have probably lost that game. Can't see him having much left to take on this version of Artifice, even being honest with you, and I feel like the odds would probably suggest that. 4.2 for Martinez, that is a little bit disrespectful. He's more than capable of beating Artifice on the clay. I think he's more than capable of keeping this close as well. It is in Spain, innit? He will be ever so slightly inspired just a little bit more to perform in this one, as they usually are. I wouldn't be going anywhere near Artifice at 1.2. Like, it's even lower. It depends. By the time this video comes out, it mightn't even be that. I don't know. Huge favourite, colossal favourites in this one. I'm expecting ATP to get it done. How he's going to go about it, I'm not too sure. Probably just look at Martinez on the points. I don't know. I'm not picking that with much conviction, if any at all. So approach that one with caution. If you can get it over 1.2, I suppose if you have to, then look, I think Artifice wins. You do what you want with that, but not for me. Not today. It would be feast or nothing. But we'll crack on. Got Holger Rune, Sebastian Baez. This is a lot better, in my opinion. Head to head is 3-2 to Sebastian Baez, and it will not surprise you to find out all three of those wins coming on the clay. That's right. Sebastian Baez beat him last year in Rome. 2-1, the sets that he won, 6-2, 6-3. More than capable of beating Holger Rune. Thought Holger Rune looked okay against Ramos Vinales, but, I expected nothing less. Ramos Vinales covered that spread as well. We said he would, 5.5. Easy, dead easy. Only just, but I had a feeling he was going to do that. Was on a 3-game losing streak before he come over to Barcelona. Jack Draper, Raleigh Pelka, Nuno Borges. He had to pull out against Nuno Borges over in Monte Carlo. He's looking a lot better, regarding the fitness and, the shape that he's in. I know. Well, apparently he had, knee issues over in Monte Carlo, but like we all know, this guy has knee issues pretty much every other fucking month, doesn't he? So how's he going to react in this next game against Sebastian Baez? I'm not too sure. I had Baez today on a double. I was pretty certain he was going to get that one done. Odds are very close on this. We're getting Holger Rune around 1.7. Now you could take him for a set as a parlay piece. That should be alright. I'm not so confident that he gets this one done against Sebastian Baez. We know how good Sebastian Baez is over on the clay. Holger Rune's pretty decent on the clay though as well. I'll give him that. He's decent. He's a lot better than most. He's had some good years on it. Not many. There's not many better than Sebastian Baez over here. There's not many more consistent, and I'd probably say trustworthy as well. You take either one of these for a set. Take either one for a set. I don't know, man. It's Sebastian Baez. We know what this guy's like. He loves this clay. And he loves being a dog on the clay as well. You've got to be very, very careful betting against this guy. Either which way you go about it. This dude's just like a fucking IED, just buried in the sand, just waiting for Holger Rune to come and stand on him so he'll blow his fucking limbs off. Would not be surprised to see Holger Rune get beat here today. I wouldn't. Decent prices for both, it really is. See if you can get on the right side of that. You'll be laughing all the way to the bank. I don't think it's as cut and dry. I really don't think it's cut and dry as, excuse me, Holger Rune wins that in straight sets. I'll be looking at either one for a set just to play it safe, and then we'll wait and see who gets into the quarters. Now we've got Tsitsipas, Sebastian Korda. Oh wow. That 1.3 for Tsitsipas there. Head to head is 2-1. He did get beat by Sebastian Korda the other month over in Miami. Straight sets as well. Tie break in the first, 6-3 in the second. Tsitsipas did beat him on the clay 2020. On the hard court 2021 over in Cincinnati. Don't know. Not a lot to go off other than that recent win from Sebastian Korda. I thought Sebastian Korda looked decent against Matteo Arnaldi too. He was a dog in that. Ended up dropping the first set. Managed to get his shit together and looked rather decent in the second and third. I'll give him that. What did Tsitsipas do to Raleigh Pelka? We knew he was going to win. We knew he was going to cover the spread and win in straight sets, but 6-2, 6-2, he just made Raleigh Pelka look shit. He really did. Tsitsipas loves it over here on the clay. Fairly decent in Monte Carlo before he bumped into Musetti, but as we all know. There's not a lot you could do if you ran into that guy before the finals. But he does look decent once again over in Barcelona. You know, these slow courts definitely suit his game. Although he has just been beat fairly recently by Sebastian Korda, you have to admit the situation is rather different now this time out, is it not? I just think the version of Tsitsipas that played Ralia Pelka, even picturing him against Sebastian Korda, he wins. His forehand was shit hot. His backhand, you know, we don't really need to talk about it. If you're gonna rate the backhand as Tsitsipas, you've got to see it on these clay courts, haven't you? It's really good. It's so good. He's got all the time in the world to get it off. Considering you've just been beaten straight sets and you play him literally a month later, if that, you're 1.3 as a favourite. That's a massive favourite. I think that tells us just a little tale of what's probably going to transpire over here in the round of 16 in Barcelona. I don't know, man. You can get Sebastian Korda at 3.5. Now, at first glance, I thought, yeah, that's nice. That's nice. I don't mind that. That just could be the sweet spot, in my opinion. I think Stefanos Tsitsipas, on this surface in this tournament, playing the way he did against the Pelka, is more than capable of covering that spread against Sebastian Korda. You know it's true. Say Sebastian Korda has never really done anything. He's done fuck all since 2019 over on the clay. 5-5 last year, 1-3 the year before, 8-6. He's already went 1-1. You know, he's lost one, he's won one. What are the odds he loses this one? Or even more so, what are the odds he wins this? Apparently 3-1, more or less. So, I don't know. I did think about taking Korda plus the points, but the more I think about it, if I be realistic and true to myself, I'll be honest with you folks, I think Tsitsipas just wins this one. I do. It's not going to be easy. I don't imagine it's going to be easy, but like I say, if you're gonna do him like that on the hard court, I can't help but think he's going to be up for just a little bit of revenge today over in Spain. So I will be looking at Tsitsipas to get that one done. I don't know, you let me know. Korda on the spread, do you think Korda takes a set? You know, get yourself involved as and when we go. Then we'll wrap this up over in Spain with Hamad Medjedovic, Casper Ruud. What do we know about these ones? I mean, Medjedovic is fairly decent on the clay. I'll give him that. You know, from what he's shown us so far in his career, he's had fairly decent years on the surface. Casper Ruud is what we consider a clay court specialist, though, is he not? I think we can all admit that. Looked fairly decent in the first round against Daniel Galan, 6-3, 6-4, easy. Routine win. Speaking of a routine win, Medjedovic got past ATP Barcelona 7-5, 7-6. There's always a tiebreak. There's always a tiebreak with that French dude. Great stuff from Medjedovic. He cruised through qualifying too well. Had a tough one against Hugo Delene. Dropped a set to him. And then he looked rather decent against Gabe Diallo again. Carried that into the Impechi Pericard match. Sound. I like that. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't remind you that I always say with Casper Ruud, I always feel like, you know, the opponents he struggles with, especially in spots like this, quite a big favourite, 1.3, 1.4, roundabout. You'd expect him to go out and fucking dog walk Medjedovic. You really would. If history's anything to go off, I think Casper Ruud, he struggles with the power. Like, he's not the only one, but he does tend to struggle with the power and the pace sometimes. Alright, it's not a hard course. If this was on the hard course, I would probably fancy Medjedovic to get this one done. He was very, very good behind his serve yesterday. I think he can keep it close, you know. Don't know what that spread's going to be. 2.5, something like that. 3.5, and maybe not enough. If it's 3.5, I'm telling you, I would not put it past Medjedovic to cover that. That's Casper Ruud though, and I've got Casper Ruud on it outright. I do think he's got a very, very good shout to making it to the final. That's all I need on the each way, is just for them to get to the final. I don't think these have played each other before, have they? No. So, I mean, not much to go off. Both are in decent form, you know. Both are in fairly decent form. You'd probably side with Casper Ruud ever so slightly. Look, we're on the clay. If you can't take Casper Ruud on the clay, you're probably never going to take him all year round. He's a lot more trustworthy. We know what we're going to get from Casper Ruud, but there is a lot of upside and a lot of unknown with Medjedovic. So I would be careful. I'd love to take Casper Ruud ideal parlay piece 1.4 if you can get that. That's sound. I wouldn't talk it off that. I do rate Medjedovic though. I think he's really good. He's a solid player. Out of the younger ones anyway, he's very good. Could definitely trouble Casper Ruud. I think I'd assume he could keep this one close. I don't know, we'll wait and see. I'd be going with Casper Ruud on that one, but like I said, all shall remain to be seen. And that's going to do us in Spain. We will hop on over to Germany real fast. Got another 4, and these are decent too. First off, got Luciano Darderi versus Kekmanovic. Now, Darderi opened as a dog. I imagine some of you out there would have already taken that, because he's now a favourite, ever so slightly, only just around 1.8 thereabout. They played each other in Hong Kong, start of the year. Kekmanovic on the hard court, 6-3, 6-3. Great stuff there. As we very well know, Luciano Darderi just falls to shit over on the hard court. 1-5 this year, 1-9 the year before, 3-3 before that, 0-1. Then he started off 20-6, 2021. I don't know. He's opted for a life on the dirt, hasn't he? This guy loves it. This guy fucking loves the clay. He's very good on it too. He's in shit hop form, blazing hop form over on the dirt the past few weeks. 11-4 this season. That takes his total to 12-9 on the year. Very good. That makes up for all the shit he pulled on the hard court. Kekmanovic was decent too. Over on the hard court, he's went 14-10 this year, 1-1 on the clay. Never really been that trustworthy on the surface, if I'm being honest with you. He's not bad, but he's nowhere near as good as the Italian, we have to admit that. Struggled against Marcus Garon as well. I had a feeling he'd edge that one out, but he really did struggle against them. That went to he took 2 tiebreakers in the second and third to get that one done. Now, with that being said, Darderi did end up going to 2 tiebreakers with Christopher O'Connell, and he looked solid throughout the entire match. Like I said, he served well, he just played well, all round game, very solid. Super form at the moment. So he got to the final over in Naples, was it? Got beat there, ended up winning the title over in Marrakesh, the next tournament, and then he's riding that streak over into Munich, where he's just got it done in the first round against O'Connell. He's on one hell of a tear, I'll give him that. One hell of a run. Look at that price. I was going to take him as a dog. I would have done. I just took him as a dog. And now he's even a favourite. I'm a bit like, I don't know. Feel like I've missed out a little bit there. I don't know. You could probably still get him as a dog round about 1.8. I think that's fine. I was just going to take Darderi for a set as a parlay piece, but you know what? You should be good to just take him outright to win this. I just take him straight up on the money line to get this done. Look, he has played a lot of matches recently. The fatigue could very well start to set in round about now. I wouldn't be surprised if it did. I'd like to think it won't. I think he can get this one done. Close 2 sets against O'Connell, but O'Connell's a decent player too. I think that's what Kekmanovic is though. He's just decent. He's decent enough. I think you could probably trust the Italian to get this one done. Let me know. Anyone taking Darderi? I imagine everyone's going to be on him today, aren't they? What am I talking about? Everyone's going to be on Luciano today, and rightly so. You let me know what you're doing on that. And then we've got this one. Odds are pretty much identical here. We've got Ben Shelton, Bartek van der Sandschulp. These played each other in the US Open 2021. That went the way of the Dutch. Rather irrelevant, I'd say. He looked alright against Batista Agut. Took him 3 sets, but, you know, if you're younger than that guy, you probably should be beating him at this point. Ben Shelton struggled as well. He struggled against Bonagosho, was it? Yeah. We did mention about Bonagosho in that one. Like, he's been decent on the clay. He was decent on the clay who am I talking about here? In qualifying, that's what I'm trying to say. He was fairly decent in qualifying. He didn't drop a set, so we knew he could probably give some trouble to Ben Shelton. And that's exactly what he did. It took Ben Shelton 2 tie breaks to get past him in the second and third. Oh, Ben, just get a breaker serve, lad. I fucking say this all the time. Like, when are you gonna get a breaker serve? What the fuck's going on? Like, if he could just get one, if his return game was just a little bit better, don't be wrong, he's so solid behind the serve. He can be very, very tough to break down behind that serve, I'll give him that. But imagine if he just added a little bit to his return game, how good would Ben Shelton actually be? Because he's good already. Not too great on the clay, I must admit. Does the majority of his business. We trust this kid on the hard court more than anything. 8-4 last year, 4-8 the year before, 1-1 this year. You know, maybe he's just easing himself into it. You know, he hasn't been playing that long, you know, as compared to pretty much everyone else. Van der Sandschulp's probably a lot more tested. Not only is he a lot more tested on this surface, we could say he's a lot more proven, you know. I don't know, I just can't take Van der Sandschulp, I can't. I've learnt my lesson with this guy many moons ago. Ben Shelton's not that trustworthy yet either, he's really not. Can I put me trust in the young American here? I would love to, boys. You let me know who you're going for here. I think personally Ben Shelton for a parlay piece, just for a set, just the one. That should be alright. You should be okay with that. I'm not too sure, I don't know. That game against Bonagosho, I mean, look, no offence, but like I've just said, for someone who can't break serve for shit, for someone who barely scraped by, and I repeat, barely scraped by Bonagosho, who's like ranked what? 410th in the world. Oh my god, that's a lot fucking lower than what I thought he was. Bonagosho, 410th in the world. Ben Shelton was fucking screaming and screaming after every point. It does my head in. It's so unlikable, innit? I want to like him, I really do, and I do like him. He's a cool guy, but come on, man, 400 in the fucking world, and he's doing his shit. I don't know how I feel about that. What I will say is this: I admire the confidence in himself. I really do. The self-belief there is second to none. It really is. I can't help but feel like he got very lucky in that game. I'm not too sure you get past Bottas around the Sandschulp, mate. I'm not. You should be, but everyone is gonna be saying that. I'd take him for his set. I would not be so certain he gets that one done. I really wouldn't. Say 2 tiebreakers is what it took. You couldn't even break Bonagosho, barely in the top 500. I don't know. You tell me, folks. You tell me. And then we've got 2 more, and then we'll wrap this shit up. We've got Zverev and Daniel Altmaier. It's probably Zverev. And you're probably sitting there going, hang on, fucking Altmaier beat him last time he played. You're right, I'm aware of that. I was in Acapulco on the hard court last year. Funnily enough, every one of these meetings have all been on the hard court. 2 in the slams. Australian Open, US Open, Acapulco. That went the way of Daniel Altmaier. Now a home tournament for the both, so I imagine the pair of them will be mighty expired in this one. Inspired, not expired. One of them will expire by the end of the match, but A lot of inspiration for the two of them riding into this. Altmaier looked fairly good against Seng, got that one done in straight sets, easy as you like. Well, 2 tiebreakers. Seng's a decent player though, Seng's quite good over on the clay, we'll give him that. Now, a lot of people thought Alexander Muller stood a good chance against Zverev in their first round clash. A lot of people thought he was going to cover the spread. I thought he stood a good chance to. No, sir. You are sorely mistaken. 6-1, 6-4 for Zverev. Sad. Easy as you like. I would imagine he gets past Daniel Altmaier. I say that though, I mean, look. Who's better on the clay? Who is better on the clay? I don't know, would you say Daniel Altmaier is a better clay player than Zverev? I wouldn't necessarily go that far. I'd say Altmaier prefers the clay. He plays his best tennis on the clay. But I think Zverev's good over here too, you know. I do. Look at them records, 23-6 last year, 20-7 the year before, 15-5, 14-4. Yeah. They are not the records of a shit the bed over here on this surface. As we know, Zverev this year, fairly inconsistent to say the least. 15-7 on the season so far, 15-14 for Daniel Altmaier. He's 1.09, 109. That is disgusting. Get those shit odds out of my face. Maybe just look at Daniel Altmaier on the spread. I always say it, don't I? You can't take that. You can't take that at 1.09. That's horrendous. Altmaier's like a 5-1, a 6-1 dog. Now, as far as value goes, you don't need me to tell you that's where the value resides. Take him for the sets. I'd take him on the spread and just sit and hope. I'd rather take Altmaier on the spread here. He could definitely keep this one close. He beats Zverev on the hard court. He beats Zverev on the hard court and you're a clay player. I imagine you stand a good chance over on the clay. So, I don't know. Food for thought, folks. Food for thought. And then we'll wrap this shit up with Tal and Griekspoor, Yannick Hanfmann, head-to-head 3-1 to Yannick Hanfmann. One of them was on the clay last year. That was in the... I don't think we count that. That's one of them shit exhibitions, the Bundesliga for men. We get into the real stuff. Griekspoor beat him at Indian Wells last year quite convincingly, 6-3, 6-3. And then those 2 wins for Yannick Hanfmann coming on the clay, straight sets at challenger level. 2018, 2021, he bageled them in both them matches too. Quite concerning. Look, maybe this is just one of them cases. Yannick Hanfmann does seem to have Griekspoor's number on this surface, but I'm not going to read into that win against Mensah too much. I'm not. Yannick Hanfmann looked visibly hampered in that game. He was like coughing and sneezing. He looked like he had the flu or something. And he still managed to get past Mensah. I don't know. Played a lot better. Someone even said in the comments that's probably the best game he's played in like the past 2 or 3 years. You can't account for that, can you? I'm glad everyone who follows this channel is very understanding. You know, we all watch the games. It is what it is. I was thinking the exact same. As soon as I watched that, I went, oh my god, Yannick Hanfmann looked like fucking Nadal today. And as soon as I checked the YouTube, within 2 minutes, someone said the exact same thing, more or less. Now I will say this. That is, apart from that game in the Davis Cup, that's only the second game on the main draw that Yannick Hanfmann has won all season. That's how unlucky he was today with Mensah. He just looked shit as well. He just looked like he couldn't be arsed in that third set. He didn't get a single break point against a struggling Yannick Hanfmann. I don't know how I feel about that. A lot of people had written Griekspoor off against Leonard Tien for whatever reason. I'm not too sure why, but he just turned up and munched on that kid, didn't he? 6-4, 6-2. Better player, better fun. Maybe not better on the surface, but he's a lot more trustworthy coming into this match, you have to admit. Tal Griekspoor has been really good this year. 15-8 on the total, 4-2 on the clay. Yannick Hanfmann, although he put in that performance against Joachim Mensah, he's still 2-4 on his favourite surface so far this season. do I want to stick my hand back in the fire with this guy? You know, one time I can live with, 2 times in a row I'll feel fucking sick if I get hammered by Yannick Hanfman again. I think Griekspoor does him. I'm a lot more certain that Griekspoor gets this done against Yannick Hanfman than what I was against Mensah. I think he should be good for it. From what we've seen, he got to the final in Marrakesh. I would imagine you've got more than enough to be able to deal. I feel like Griekspoor, he's going to be a lot more switched on than Joachim Mensah. He's a lot more experienced. He knows how to deal with people, and even if it's not going his way, I trust Griekspoor can adapt to these situations and be able to pull this one out the bag. 1.3 to 1.4. It'd be the only way for me. That's the Griekspoor way. Very well then, folks. 30 minutes on the nose. Appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate your time, as always. Like and subscribe. Very well then. I'll be saying good night to you, folks. Get yourself involved here, best bets, all that stuff in the comments. Let me know what we're doing. If there's anything I'm going for, as always, that will be pinned. If it is, it is. If it's not, it's not. Might go for a single, might go for a double, might go for both. Fuck it. I'll do what I want. We'll wait and see. But you take it easy, yeah? You take care of yourselves. You take care of one another. I appreciate each and every one of you. You know that. Continue to get involved. It makes my day. It really does. It helps me out a lot more than you know. Spread the thanks. Spread the love. If you're feeling generous, hit the thanks. Do your thing. Let's go get that cash, folks. Enjoy the matches today. And I'll see you tomorrow.